Okay, I think we're on. All right. Um, this is my second attempt. The last one took me 41 minutes. Phew. Now, it's going to be brief. I cannot upload a big file here now. So, these are requirements document for a small bookstore in New York. I got a little picture here. Meg Ryan, shop around the corner. And what it is that they have an old system. We need to upgrade, and they don't have an e-commerce store, so that's what we're creating here. Um, this is a point of sale that is so antiquated. They have a tape for register for receipts. I don't even see a cash register drawer tilt anywhere. Now, this is a movie based on another movie from the 1940s, um, and I call it Picazon. I put Pikachu everywhere. There's Pikachu number one with the laser saber, Pikachu number two, Pikachu number three, number four, number five, number six. Um, the thing is, that's Photoshop. The thing is, any small store, any small business needs e-commerce because what's the use of having a brick and mortar if you're only going to cater to the people passing by or driving by? That's not even 10% of the people in your local area, to say the least in the city, to say the least in the state, to say the least in the world. So there's a lot of people that can order from your store if you have a good e-commerce. How can you ship them to India? Well, UPS, DHL, USPS. Anyway, that's what we're doing here. We're creating an e-commerce store, and this is how we're going to do it. The requirements document defines what we need to do. And there's two things that essentially we need to take care of: the functional part and the non-functional part. Technical part, the introduction, all that is not that important. The appendix. Uh, so all that will go very quickly, but the main thing we need to focus on is on the functional requirements. So let me just read here. The goal of requirements Picazon is Pikachu and Amazon. And the address, I looked it up, is 106 West 69th Street, up in the west side, Hell's Kitchen, I think. From the movie You Got Mail. Anyway, the scope is, like I said, to create this. And here's a little glossary of things that we need to cover. API is an application programming interface, essentially allows a part of the program to talk to another part of the program. Um, we're going to go through the front end, middle, logic layer, and database layer. That's what we are presenting right now. What is a schema? It's a database like this. Okay, we create the tables, and then we create the ERD, how the tables are related to each other. Like this table right here is related to that table in there, in the sense that one customer can make many reviews to many books, and one category can have many books within that category. Now, one customer, one user can buy books in a shopping cart, and but can not only buy one book, can buy many books. So essentially, this is a many to many relationship. Many customers can buy many books. How? In a shopping cart. So one to many to a shopping cart, and one to many from the book to the shopping cart. Anyway, reviews are here. Wish list for the customers is here. That's part of customer service, part of what we're doing. This is my SQL, by the way, the workbench. Just love it. Promotions, I need to figure out a way to connect this to the customers getting promotions, etc. Customer supports also need to get a line going from one to another, put a foreign key, and what it is the primary key, which is the customer gets to choose one of many promotions, or gets to have one of many promotions. So that's a one to many. That's one customer into the foreign key will be coming here, one to many. And the customer can have one problem, two problems, 10 problems. That's also one to many. So I need to create in the table, I need to create a foreign key. Anyway, we'll take care of that in a minute. For now, we're doing the document. The requirements document is going to focus here, like I said, in functional requirements. Number one, the users. What's it for? Who is it for? Number two, what it is. It's an online shopping store. Okay, how is it going to work? We're going to have a checking out area. Okay, but essentially that's what we're doing. It's just an online shopping store. The users are going to be essentially three people. The customer is our main user. We are doing this for the store, but the store is doing this for the users. So we're doing this for the users. And essentially, the user has to find it friendly, easy to access, interesting, accommodating, etc. A lot of people browse through the phone, so it needs to be adaptable to a phone. It's called responsive. It needs to be responsive. So the manager is another user. He needs to update the books, the database, new books, delete the old books, check out the sales, check out the stock levels, all the things that a typical manager does. And the employee who is not a manager needs to know how to handle the system as well. The system is going to have a tablet, kind of like this, a little tablet that is going to allow the guy to connect to it with a little stripe, and they're going to put in the book, and nope, it's not here, but they're going to put in the book, and then they swipe the credit card, they swipe it on the tablet, and they finish the sale. The thing is, that's how the payment backend is done, and that's the API connecting to the payment gateway. It could be Stripe, it could be any PayPal, it could be Google Pay, Apple Pay, any of those payment gateways. But as long as the money goes to our bank, we're happy. They take 2%, 3%, we're happy. Okay. Now, the account management is simple. Basically, the user is going to register, which even the manager will register. Later on, we're going to implement a two-factor authentication, which is sending a text. You're trying to log in, sending a text. Is it you? Yeah, it's me. So that's 2FA. Much later on, we're going to do a native app where the phone can take advantage of the finger biometrics, fingerprint identification. It makes it super easy. The other thing the database is supposed to take care of, or the program is supposed to do, is inventory management. Like I was putting here, QuickBooks, $300 a month. NetSuite, $1,000 a month. All this inventory management are made for bigger companies. We're a small store. We have 1,000 books. That's it. Maybe 2,000. But essentially, all we need is a database for products and inventory tracking and customer registration and customer account management. Okay. Now the customer has an online shopping experience. They need to be able to search for the book, take a look at the book, add it to the cart if they like it, or return it if they bought it. The checking out is the most important part of that experience. Okay. The payment options are like PayPal, Apple Pay, etc. They're always going to get coupons. They're always going to get invitations, points. You know, if you buy more, you get more points, like Sky Miles. Shipping is important. We don't want it to go to a neighbor. It's happened to me. If you're buying in this, if you walk in the store and you're selling books here in the store, the person is going to say, okay, let me help you with that. Okay, this is the information for that book. It's supposed to say so and so, you know, the year 19 whatever. And they, oh, let me take it. So they buy it. Okay, buy it. Put the credit card. And you don't have to be at the register to do that. The person can be walking around here and they can sell it to you right in front of the book. Buy it. Don't need to ship it. Just take it with you. Take the little bag, little flower, little gift, and you're happy. So that's in the checking out process. Finally, customer support. If there's a problem, you know, they send us a text, an email, a chat message, a text message. We have a frequently asked questions, web page, you know, oh, to return books, you need to do this, you need to do that. So all that will be taken care of. Return policy, 30 days, 2 weeks, whatever. Now, that's what we're doing for the program. That's the e-commerce part that we're doing. There are other things that we need to specify that are not part of the program. These are the non-functional requirements. Like making sure a page loads quickly. You know, loading time needs to be under 2 seconds, or usually within less than a second if it's a cached page. If it's a returning customer, it will be right there. Some people do bookmarks. You know, I do that. If there's 3, 10, 20, 100, 500 people connecting, the database needs to be able to accept concurrent customers. You know, MySQL is a very robust system. It can take concurrent calls, Access is not. Microsoft Access can take only one customer at a time. That's no good. So MySQL is a server backend database, we're going to talk in a minute, that allows you to do more than 10, more than 100, but more than 500, that would be too much. That's why Amazon RDS is a better option. Cloud SQL is a good option. So these are other people that would help us when we're big. But for now, we're not going to look into that. Microsoft Azure, Cosmos DB also. But that's in the scalability part. Right now, we're only scaling, if we need to grow, we're only scaling vertically. We're adding better, beefier machine. The machine is right here. It's a very simple computer. You know, it can handle 16 gigabytes of hard drive, 4-core processors, simple computer, 2 terabyte, external drives, one internal, of course, to process all this. But for backups, one weekly backup, one daily backup. Basic internet connection. Now, when we're scaling, we need to do, you know, a 16-core processors or a 64 gig hard drive, 128 gig hard drive, gig RAM. That would be great. I mean, you can look at the stuff instantly, especially if we go to SSDs. SSDs are like super fast. But for backup purposes, I prefer RAID, especially with a NAS. It's a little thing. I have one somewhere in there. I don't know what I did with mine. Anyway, point is, yeah, you put several hard drives connected together, and that allows you to do backup and multiple access for multiple drives at the same time. So one file gets read into many drives. Anyway. Point is, these are things that are not part of the program that we're writing, but it's a non-functional requirement. Scalability, very important. Usability is a non-functional requirement. The customer tells us, oh, I like it. You know, the consistent UX, it's very interesting. One of the things that I've noticed in some websites, hospitals, whatever, they go from a friendly phase to an ugly phase, to a database phase. It's like, what? So we don't want that. We want everything to be smooth and friendly. Similar colors, etc. Very functional, you know, very, very easy to use. Responsive for cell phones. We're going to use Vaadin, I think it's pronounced that way, for the front end. It's very useful because it has these components that we can just plug in with Spring Boot. It's very easy to use, very simple, very nice. And it's like the new thing. Kotlin, Java, Swift, especially Swift, they're old. Flutter is okay, but we don't want to do Swing. And especially old stuff from Java, no way. So we could, though, for security reasons, but you know, React Native is React is really good. React Native is in the future when we go to do cell phones, like with the swiping. QR codes is something important for the cell phones. You QR a book and it tells you everything you need to do. You need to know about that book. But that's what the website is for. Anyway, security requirements. Essentially, here we need to make sure the data is encrypted, is authenticated. Like I said here, all the data that goes in the website is going to be sanitized and validated. Okay, we don't want any weirdos, hackers getting into our system. The sessions gotta be closed every time they leave. Secure payments, yeah, PCI compliance with credit card ownership and all that. That Stripe and Google Pay, Apple Pay, they're very good at that. They take care of that part. Availability, well, we need to be redundant. We need to be uptime 99% of the time. We need to have backups, recovery in seconds, failovers in case the hard drive fails, whatever. And deployment, you know, we're going to do everything on-prem for now, on the house, in premises. Later on, we're going to go in the cloud, like AWS or Azure. Compliance is another non-standard requirement. We have to have compliance. We have to have maintainability. Modular design, documentation, version control through Git, testing all the time. We're going to go through testing. Support. This is the support. We're going to tell what to do with this frequently asked questions. Incident management, you know, all this stuff. Technical requirements is part of the functional requirements. This is the core, the bread and butter of what we're doing. We're creating a database here that is going to have all the information for the tables. Book table, customer table, user table, etc. Okay, I created this first in this document, in the Word document, but then I started adding these bar charts, and then to make it nicer. And then I thought, why don't I plug it just on the workbench? So I started doing it, but it had a bunch of errors, like commas and semicolons. So then I finished it up here, create table, etc. And then I went and transferred it here. So it's all there in the document, all the tables, not that many, but we can add more in the future. These are the essential tables. So I got this from a lot of books, and copy paste, not really copy paste, but adaptation. These are not for bookstore. Some are for e-commerce. Here's the citations for books. And then with that, I created the ERD. ERD tells you what tables you have, and it's essentially how they're connected to each other and what needs to go where. Okay, one to many, like I said earlier. Essentially, when one customer is buying many books, that's essentially for e-commerce shopping cart. And as far as the API integration, we need to connect to the credit cards, to the delivery people, and to the buyers. So that's the main part of the API, external APIs. Internal is authentication, the catalog, the order, all those little intricate microservices will be connected to each other. Okay, backup and recovery to database, to hard drives, etc. To databases will be nice, but no. One is plenty. And then user interface, again, make it friendly, super easy to use. Accessibility for handicapped people, text readers, they can zoom in on the website, zoom. Or they can zoom out. But essentially, it allows the people with disabilities to read this very well, use it very well. Database requirements, essentially we need to use a database that is strong and sturdy and very secure, like MySQL. We're not going to use Access. I've had that experience. It only takes one customer at a time. If you take two and somebody orders a book, two people can log in, but somebody orders this book that is in the database saying, I have it available. Order it, buy it, take it away. Then somebody else logs in at the same time and says, oh, I like that book. There's only one. Oh, yes, I have it available. Take it. Apparently he'll get it, but he never gets it. Why? Because this guy already took it. Why? Because the database can only handle one transaction at a time. Duh. No good. So that's what we're using. We would like to use Oracle or SQL Server, but MySQL is been around forever and is easy to use. Plus, it's got the workbench. Piece of cake. Anyway, testing. We're going to do unit testing, meaning case testing for every little thing that we create. Test if it works. Okay, test number like in the movies. Take 1, take 2, take 3. Make sure it works. If it passes, if it doesn't pass, we get a sign off on that. And then we do functional testing, edge testing, like load, stress, like domain, denial of service, like too many concurrent transactions at a time. I don't know if I can do 500, but essentially as many tests as possible, especially in security. I put a case here on an AC guy, air conditioning guy, that the hackers took advantage of the name tag, hacked into Target, and stole 400 million credit cards. Imagine that. If it passes all the things, we get a sign off on the testing. Is get an acceptance rating. Yay! And that's it. That's the document. I got a lot of quotations here from people, especially from this little fellow here. Let me bring it over. That's functional requirements definition, according to what's his name, Somersville. Bing. But anyway, I got a lot of books online that I got pieces of quotes from and pieces of text from. But essentially, I rewrote everything they said. I put it in my own words because I need to understand what I'm talking about. You want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So anyway, the last part was the UML. And the UML, the markup, where is it? Let me go through here. The sequence diagram, something markup model, markup language. I forgot what it stands for. But what this does, let me zoom in. I have it. Let me close that. Let me close. Here it is. Here's the ERD. Here's the UML. The diagram. Okay, loading. What the diagram does is allows us to um, do the step-by-step process from browsing. Hello, that's the actor. That's the customer. They're just going to browse for an item and then select the item. But to select the item and browse for an item, obviously we have to have it in the database. Let me show you my little database with a file cabinet inside. And a database has to have a lot of files. And then after it's selected, it goes into the shopping cart, which is in this case a lot of food, but it's still a shopping cart. And then they have to pay for it with a credit card. This is the Chase Freedom. The thing is, once they pay for it, they're all done. The last step is, the customer step is delivery. They need to confirm the address and they are going to get it at the door. Very simple sequence, 1, 2, 3. And I could put more, I could complicate this a ton by putting more actors like word of mouth. How'd you hear about bookstore? You know, little things, but for now we just want to make it simple. So that's my UML diagram, and that's the end of the presentation. So here was the database, the bread and butter of the business, and here's the functionality, what we're supposed to do with the program, and the extra things that we are taking care of about the program. Definitions, you know what e-commerce is, content management system, WordPress, that's the easy way out. You know, copy a template from WordPress, done. Nah, we're gonna do our own. Spring Boot, baby. And finally, our little bookstore, Pikazon, which is Pikachu and Amazon. Pikazon, for the little store around the corner. And that's it. Have a good one.